With regards to this conference?
Well, I'm actually here, as you know, I'm Nigeria's candidate for the presidency of the African Development Bank, and I feel particularly very humbled that I'm so much strongly supported by our president, but also supported by the president-elect. I carry the weight of Nigeria on my shoulder, and also the weight of Africa on my shoulder. I'm here to campaign for every single vote. By God's grace, that we will be able to win this election, and I will bring my over 25 years of experience in managing the economy, managing different sectors to bear on helping Africa to be able to end poverty, create opportunities, create jobs for our young people, and of course to also diversify our economy. We've got to have an Africa where the economic growth process is inclusive, and that's the platform I'm running on, and I'm really hoping that we'll be able to win it here.
If you win the presidency of the EFDB for the next, this is celebrating 50 years already, what will be your main agenda for EFDB considering the global and continental challenges that Africa faces?
Well, first and foremost is that Africa is growing and growing very well. The economic growth rate, GDP growth rate is about 5% right now. We used to grow for about 6%. So there's no doubt about growth. The question is what nature of growth. We need to have an inclusive growth process, a growth process that's able to create a lot of jobs. Today we have 30 million young people that come to the labor market every year. They can't find jobs. We also have a situation with massive rural urban migration. We've got a lot of our cities that are basically becoming like, oceans of poor people around islands of highly concentrated wealth. And you have increased fragility on the African continent. If elected as president, I have already laid out my vision. My vision is to have a lot more growth in Africa, but a lot more inclusive growth from the north to the west to the east to the south of this continent. We also need to make sure that we are able to have regional integration on the continent. And the continent needs to also be open to the world, to be competitive in the world. We want a continent where there is peace and stability and security, one that we can call our own, not where young people are fleeing the continent. I've laid 5 priorities out for the bank, and those priorities are first and foremost infrastructure. I think in infrastructure, energy is my #1 priority. Without energy, we can't industrialize, we can't have SME growth, we can't have financial services working. And so energy is important, ICT growth is important for me, and I think infrastructure for urban development is very important to have. The second area of priority for me is private sector. Private sector is the driver of the economy. We've done that in Nigeria. That's how we've been able to mobilize $5.6 billion for private sector investment into agriculture. That's the most difficult sector, by the way, to attract money into. We are also on that private sector. I will focus on SMEs, the small and medium-sized enterprises, financial intermediaries to get financing to them. It's going to be important. But look, we have a lot of money in Africa's capital markets today. Pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, diaspora funds, the liquid equity markets that we have. Lots of money we have to leverage for Africa's development. The third area is to create jobs, a lot of jobs for Africa's youth, a lot of skills, entrepreneurship, private equity funds and venture capital to support them. We also have to revive #4, our rural areas, and lift hundreds of millions of our people out of poverty. Poverty cannot be the comparative advantage of Africa. We've got to make agriculture work as a business, just like we've done in Nigeria, everywhere, in this country, and diversify our economy and create new prosperity zones in our rural areas. And finally, #5 is regional integration, so that we can have shared prosperity on this continent. We've got to be able to move freely across this continent. We've got to have better integrated financial market and labor markets on the continent. And we need to have a lot of infrastructure to link one country to the other. This is the big vision. And I am an African candidate. I have lived and worked in more than 15 African countries. I lived more than 10 years in Francophone countries. I'm at peace. I'm totally, comfortable in every part of Africa. With the support that I've gotten from the President and for incoming President and all the prayers of Nigerians, I have confidence that by God's grace we'll win this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.